Sometimes you will see the number 2 written next to a chord name, and it's usually shown as sus2 or add 2. Now, if it's add 2, that means they're hoping for the 1, 3, 5 plus a fourth note of a 2. So when we talk about a sus2, we might be using the 9 instead of the 2 on the guitar, and that's totally fine. Again, sus means let's not play the third of the chord, let's play the other number instead. So if we have a C chord like this, and it says sus2, I'm going to put my D here, that's my 2, 1, 2, up high. You might think of it as a 9, that's fine, but it's a D. And we have another opportunity down low. There's a 2 right here. 1, 2, the open D string. And then I'm not going to play an E at all. So I can ignore this top E and instead play a G. Okay, so now we have the chord like this, 1, 2, 5, and then 2, 5 up high. So there you go. That's an example of a C sus2 chord. Okay. Some guitar players are afraid of the F chord because they just have trouble making that chord. Now, it's only going to be 4 notes in my example. 1, 3, 5, 1. This is a real easy chord to make a sus2 because we take away the third and we replace it with a 2, and now you have 1, 2, 5, 1. Only 4 strings, but you get a nice sound and an easy to play chord. It's called an F sus2. On the A chord, the third of the chord is the C sharp. 1, 2, 3. It's that note right there. That's the third. 1, 2, 3. For sus2, we're going to get rid of the 3 and replace it with the 2. Very easy to do on this chord. We just remove that note and insert the open B. Super easy, and it sounds gorgeous. Mute your bottom E because the bass note is an A, not an E. And that is an A sus2 chord. Now, with all the chords I'm showing you today, there is more than one place, more than one way to play them on your guitar. Let's do an E sus2 chord. Now, the E chord is normally here. That's just the basic triad 1, 3, 5 notes of the E chord. The third of the chord is 1, 2, 3. It's that note on the G string. The trouble with this chord is going to be replacing this note with this note, which is on a different string. Okay? We want to replace it with the 2 of the chord. But what do you do with the G string? Pretty hard to just not play the G string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute that note with this note because that's the 5 of the chord and that's in a E chord. So now I got this. I got my 1, my 5, my 2, and then for the G string I'm going to play a B, which is the 5 of the chord. And then I have an open B and a 1 up here. The end result sounds like this. Okay? And that's one way to do an E sus2. Okay. Let's talk about the G sus2. Well, same thing. We've got a G chord, but we want to replace the B with an A. G is 1, A is 2, B is 3. The 3 has to go and the A has to stay. Okay, this is kind of tricky on the G chord because we've got 2 B's. Okay, so there's a B open up here and there's a B down here on the A string. If we take this low B and we move it to an A, it's just going to be an open string. So it's very easy to play, but it also sounds kind of muddy down there. If that voicing was too mushy and hard to understand, try eliminating the A string like this. We're going to put the 3rd finger on the low string and we're going to mute the A string. Okay, so it's going to end up being the 1 here, the 5 on the D, the 2 on the G string, and then another 5 and a 1. Like that. And it comes out sounding really clean and really beautiful. All right, and that is your G sus2 chord. I don't think I did a D sus2 yet. Let's do that right now. Just like the other sus2 chords, we're going to replace the 3rd with the 2nd degree. In the key of D, it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the 3rd of your chord is that note, the F sharp, and we're going to replace it with the 2, which is the open E. How convenient. All right, that's pretty easy. You just remove that finger and you're done. So there you go. This was kind of a familiar sound back in the 60s guitar songs. Things like a D, sus4, D, and then sus2, and then back to D. You hear that once in a while. And you also heard it on an A chord. A, sus4, back to A, then sus2, back to A. Yes.